G'day everyone, I'm Aza Whitnall and this is AZAWorld Sport, where each week I talk about various different news, topics and stories from within the world of sport, but predominantly football. And this week, Roy Hodgson, or Roy Hodgson, depending on how you want to pronounce his name and how he wants to pronounce his name, has named his 23-man England squad to go to Euro 2016. And I, of course, am here at the home of the England football team, Wembley Stadium, and definitely not in my bedroom, sat in front of a green screen. This is awkward. Anyway, let's get down to business. Who should he have taken and who shouldn't he have taken? Well, my first big issue with this England squad is the fact that, again, I do not understand why England do this. They choose names over form. It's something that you don't really see in any other of the big national teams. Okay, now let's just get things started with the strikers. Marcus Rashford. I can actually understand why we've taken Marcus Rashford, okay? Why we've taken 5 strikers. I think we needed to take 5 strikers. I think we're very unlucky that Danny Welbeck has got injured because I think he would have been one of those strikers. But we've now got Kane, Vardy, Rooney, Sturridge and Rashford. Why do we have Rashford? Because we've got Daniel Sturridge in the team. Now, why make that comparison? Well, it's because Daniel, I'm injured 90% of the time. Sturridge, if we took 4 strikers, well, I just said it, that would happen. He would get injured. You can just see it, okay? I hope he doesn't. I hope he has a fantastic Euro tournament. I hope England have a fantastic Euro tournament. And I hope all of our players absolutely smash it and we bring back that beautiful trophy. Oh, I really need to wake up from this dream that I'm having. But anyway, that's what would have happened if we had taken Daniel Sturridge. You just know it. We would then be down to 3 strikers. Now, if you then take into consideration that Roy Hodgson would have played Jamie Vardy on the wing instead of up front, like everyone else would do, because, well, it's Roy Hodgson and he will do what he wants with his England team, which is annoyingly play people out of position and not in their right ones. Then you've got to take into consideration that he is also going to play Wayne Rooney in midfield probably, which I also actually agree with. So we're then down to just 1 striker, which is Harry Kane. So taking Rashford, I actually think is a good idea. He's young, he's in form. Yes, that is something that's good to see. And yeah, he's been banging in the goals. He's been doing what he's supposed to do. So it is exciting. And he's a little bit, all right, there's a lot of hype about him in this country, but he may be something that other defenders may not necessarily have come up against in their own league. So I can understand why they've taken him. Saying that, I do have a lot of sympathy for Jermaine Defoe, who, after scoring 15 goals for Sunderland this season, just in the league alone, I think is very unlucky to have not at least been given a chance in a friendly match to prove himself at national level yet again, because he can score goals at national level. We've seen it. Andy Carroll, again, it is a bit. I think he's a bit unlucky not to be in this squad, especially when you consider the season West Ham have had. But Andy has had a lot of injury problems over the years, and to coincide with that, he has also had some consistency problems as well. So I can understand why he hasn't taken those 2, and why he has taken Marcus Rashford, who is an exciting prospect. The only thing that worries me is that we're rushing him into the spotlight, kind of like what we did with Theo Walcott. We're not letting him develop properly with the under-20s, the under-21s, because he's only 18. But saying that, I mean, what a story. We're not even 100 days into his professional career, and he's already been called up for England. He's already won the FA Cup. He scored in his England debut. He scored in his Manchester United debut. Absolutely smashing it. So I really hope this continues, and who knows, this could be a real historic moment for English football. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But the real talking point isn't the strikers. The real talking point is the midfield. Now, first things first, Jack Wilshere and Jordan Henderson are both very, very good players. If Wilshere wasn't so injury prone, I would even say that he is world class. It's just his injuries do hold him back a bit. I think Jack is that good. However, he has barely played 1,000 minutes for Arsenal in the last 2 seasons, let alone last season. He's only played a couple of games. He is not fully fit in terms of fully match fit, which is why he keeps on having to be substituted. And as well as that, he's also not in his top peak form. And I'm pretty sure anyone watching this video will admit that. We all know what Jack Wilshere can do when he's in top form, and he's not at that level yet. I think it would have been better off to give him this summer off and let him make a full recovery and really get his fitness back, and also his technique, his discipline, and his overall game back into top form. Another player, Jordan Henderson, again, isn't fully fit and isn't in top form. Okay, when he originally got injured, everyone said he was going to miss the Euros, but to me, it just feels like he's been rushed back. Again, I think he's a quality player, but I think there are two players that England should have taken in instead of these two, because firstly, they are fully fit, and secondly, they are in amazing form for their clubs. One of them, in particular, has won the Premier League. The other one has secured European football with his club. No, it's not the Champions League. It is the Europa League, but it's still European football. It's better than where Liverpool finished. It's better than where Everton finished. And it's also better than where Chelsea finished. So these two players are Danny Drinkwater and Mark Noble. These two players, for me, have been absolutely exceptional this season, and I think it is very, very harsh that they're not in the England squad. All right, let's look. I mean, seriously, what do these guys need to do? Play for their club? Yes. Captain their club? Yes, they do that. Play well every game? Yep, pretty much. They're very consistent players. Secure Europe? Done. Win the Premier League? In Danny Drinkwater's case. Done. Individually? Do you win tackles? Yes. Do you score goals? Yes. Do you assist? Yes. Seriously, what do these guys need to do? When you actually break it down into individual form, there is no reason why these two shouldn't be in the England squad. Okay, Danny Drinkwater won more tackles than any other English player in the Premier League, and Mark Noble was second. What do you want for a holding midfielder? Now, I know we've got Eric Dyer, who's a brilliant holding midfielder, but especially against the bigger teams, to have another holding midfielder in there to allow the fullbacks to push on and bomb forward, that would have been brilliant. And these two should definitely have been in the squad because, again, they can even play a little bit further forward in that midfield if they really need to. Okay, Mark Noble was second in that list, okay, in terms of tackles won. I think, like I said, Danny Drinkwater, he actually had 55. Mistake if I said 52 beforehand. That was actually Mark Noble. But yeah, Mark Noble had 52 tackles won. Those two, the two highest tackle winners out of any English player in the Barclays Premier League last season. Then when you look at passes, they're fantastic at passes. Mark Noble was fourth out of all the English players in the Premier League in terms of successful passes, with over 1,200. And Danny Drinkwater was sixth, with one under 1,200, 1,999 successful passes. You know, this is what's so ridiculous about it. And then you want to look at chances created and what I was saying about them being holding midfielders. They can play further forward if they want to. Considering Danny Drinkwater is a holding midfield player, he created 36 chances in the Premier League last season. Now, let me just put this into perspective. Ross Barkley, who, when you bear in mind, is obviously an attacking midfielder, as well as Dele Alli, were both in their 40s. Ross Barkley had 41 chances created. Dele Alli had 47. What does that say? You know, this is a holding midfielder who's not actually that far off of England's two brightest attacking midfield talents right now. So, you know, like I said, I just feel that it is really, really harsh that these two players aren't in the England squad, and I would have included them. Because moving forward, I think it would have been better for the likes of Wilshere and Henderson to have had proper recoveries and for them to focus on the World Cup in 2 years' time. Get two real full seasons behind them where they are playing every single game, they're back in top form and really go for it at the World Cup. That is, of course, if Drinkwater and Noble wouldn't have held out the places. But anyway, it hasn't happened. And what I want to know is, do you agree with the choices that Roy Hodgson has made? Has he made the right selection choices for this squad to go to the Euros by leaving out Noble, Drinkwater? You could even put Aaron Creswell and Andros Townsend. I know Townsend made the provisional squad, but again, compared to Raheem Sterling, individually going into the tournament, you would say that Townsend is in much better form despite Newcastle getting relegated. And again, it's that same old question. What would have happened if Benitez had stayed longer? And players like Townsend and that would have blossomed the way that they were under him just a little bit earlier on in the season. Would Townsend have made that cut? Because Sterling, even though he started off, in good vein of form at Man City, hasn't continued that throughout the season. So these are questions that I want to know. Do you feel that I've missed anything? Are there any other selection choices that you would have made differently to me or Roy Hodgson, who obviously is the man who's made them all? And how do you think England are going to get on at the Euros? So please comment below, let me know. If you want to see anything else with regards to wildlife, adventure and sports, then you know that AZAWorld is the place for that. You can find all the links in the bio below, and I will see you again soon.